for him to prepare for what I'm going to bring to the table, and I'm just too sharp, too clean, punch way too hard, power in both hands.
And I just shut the curtains because I was like nervous type stuff, but now it's like I embrace it because I always dreamed of this. That's why I don't never shy away from it. That's what I'm here to do. You know what I mean, to show out, so.
3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him.
In an intense face-to-face interview, Jake Paul confidently claims his growth as a boxer has prepared him to defeat GervontaDavis in brutal fashion. He says his long athletic journey led to this moment, leaving no doubt he's ready for the challenge. GervontaDavis responds with equal certainty, declaring he has a complete package. His power, skill, and experience, he says, make him one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport today, and is prepared to prove it when they finally meet.
I know what I've learned in the past year with my new coaches, the shape I'm in, the power I possess, and I'm just...
GervontaDavis possesses every quality a top boxer needs. He carries explosive power in both hands, sharp timing that lets him strike at the perfect moment, and footwork that keeps him in command during every exchange. His defense is tight, and his instincts allow him to read opponents before they even react. Because of these strengths, Davis knows is far more than a puncher. He believes he has everything required to dominate at the highest level and continue proving he is one of the best fighters in the world.
His training is taking a toll, but the cure is just as bitter as what ails him.
I know I got to do it. 5 minutes?
5 would be good enough for you.
They definitely went to the kids store and get it.
That water ain't cold.
We know that.
I know, but...
Get in the water, man. Just get in the water.
You can't sit on the edge.
Man, just get in there, man.
Go. No, give me the time.
The upcoming fight between Jake Paul and GervontaDavis has ignited major debate across the boxing world. It's a matchup defined by contrast. One fighter brings size, weight, and raw physical strength, while the other relies on lightning speed, elite technique, experience, and knockout precision built over years at the highest level. This showdown feels like two different boxing worlds colliding. Analysts have repeatedly noted Jake Paul's significant weight advantage, which can't be ignored when assessing the risks. His larger frame offers a stronger chin, bigger power potential, and more physical force to impose. But an advantage only matters if it's used effectively. Despite Paul's height and size, GervontaDavis possesses nearly every other key weapon. His footwork, timing, and explosive punching ability weren't learned overnight. They were built through a lifetime in the sport, making him a dangerous opponent for anyone who steps in front of him. Interior 4.
Bars people that are much heavier than him. And, man, that uppercut, damn.
Well, who do you got?
I would have to bet on Gervonta because for all the little things, all that, and the fact that he's not old.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he makes up for the weight situation.
Okay, so this is the first time that Jake Paul's fighting an actual boxing champion, an active, young boxing champion. Everyone else he's fought was either way older or like, was it Tommy Fury, I think?
Yeah, he was a legitimate boxer. Yeah.
A legitimate boxer, but not a champion.
Right.
He's fighting a champion, although a very little champion compared to him.
Yes.
So this is sort of a, I don't know, man, like.
If it wasn't GervontaDavis, it was somebody else in that weight category.
It'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, it'd be ridiculous. But Gervonta, I mean, technique-wise and heart-wise, that makes it interesting. Like, again, kudos goes to Jake Paul because it kind of worked its way up, even though the guy is so much smaller.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm happy that Jake is bringing excitement to the sport and so forth, but you just have these, like, people fighting bears and, you know, there might be a boxing match with a weapon involved of some sort. Like, people have sticks. Like, I feel it's just getting more and more ridiculous. And really, outside of Crawford-Canelo, there's really very little excitement over.
Experts stress that Jake Paul has never faced a fighter with GervontaDavis' pedigree. Davis has defeated world champions, unbeaten contenders, and explosive knockout punchers. He has handled every style the sport has thrown at him, including opponents with far greater reach than Jake. This is why many believe Jake is stepping into a challenge unlike anything he has experienced. Even Jake acknowledges that truth. In interviews, he admits Davis is on a different level and that this matchup demands complete focus and real growth in his skill set. That admission shows he understands the danger ahead and knows he cannot approach this fight the same way he did his past opponents.
He's undefeated, highly skilled, most experienced fighter I've fought, top 5 pound for pound. So I have to have the best version of myself. I know how fast he is. I know how strong he is. I believe I'm stronger, more athletic, and that's my advantage going into the fight, but he pretty much has every other advantage. So I'm locked in, fully focused, feeling amazing already, and just going to put on a performance and have the biggest fight of 2025.
Last one, I've seen some people say, oh, Jake, the goal here is just to survive, knowing that's not the case. You're not going in there just to get through 12 rounds with Tank Davis. I would imagine you're going in there to win this fight.
Oh, absolutely. Tank's going to be the one surviving. I'm going to, upset a lot of people. And again, they're going to have to say that there's some crazy excuse, fights are rigged. They can't use the steroid excuse because we have full-on random drug testing at any time. They could literally knock on my door right now. So they can't use that excuse. And obviously I'm suing people who say that the fights are rigged. Piers Morgan already had to retract his statement and kiss the ring. More lawsuits are coming for these people who are lying on my name because it's just simply not true. And we're willing to prove that in court. But I'm actually flattered that the only thing that people can chalk up these wins to is that the fights are rigged, because it's honestly the greatest compliment. But again, I'm going to knock this guy out and probably create one of the most viral knockouts.
Public reaction to this matchup has been a mix of confusion, excitement, and curiosity. Some fans argue it isn't the fight boxing needs right now, believing there are plenty of deserving contenders who could challenge Davis instead. Still, people can't look away. Jake Paul's star power and entertainment-driven rise have created a spectacle that fans are eager to see unfold. Many observers say this event may not settle any major competitive debates in boxing, yet it will undoubtedly draw huge attention and fuel conversations long after the final bell.
Was at cruiserweight. Chavez Jr. was a former world champion at middleweight himself, and that sort of made sense. And it was a good win for Jake Paul. He come out there and he beats an ex-world champion. He gets a little bit of credibility, and you go, right, now you're heading in the right direction. You're starting to be, okay, all right, former champions, former fighters, but at least they're boxers. They're not MMA stars, and whatnot. So, yeah, I think that was a move in the right direction. JervontaDavis is just a little bit of a freak show for me.
Yeah, I agree, Spence. I mean, the size difference is a bit of an annoying one as well. But also as well, I hate when they put exhibition in it, because then you think how seriously they're really going to take it. I understand it because of the money involved, but realistically, if there can be a winner, JervontaDavis should take him out, regardless of the size, pretty easily and pretty quickly.
I agree, mate. Totally agree. JervontaDavis is an active fighter. Like I say, still a pound-for-pound star. Very heavy-handed as well. He should have the movement, forget the size, to be able to slip inside and take Jake Paul out. That's the reality of it. But, yeah, I just find it all very, very strange. Look, I thought an even stranger fight, to be honest, was Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. You look at that fight and go, who's going to sanction that? God forbid something happens to Jake. I think that what he's doing for the sport is brilliant in his own right. He's bringing new fans into the sport. He's doing excellent for women's boxing as well. You can't take that away from the kid, and he's been working hard as well, and he's improving. But going in against Anthony Joshua, a former 2-time world heavyweight champion and still an active fighter, that's a suicide mission for me. I think that Anthony Joshua, and you look at Francis Ngannou, and look at what AJ does to Francis Ngannou.
Former UFC fighter and entertainer Mike Perry shared a blunt perspective. He noted that JervontaDavis hasn't delivered the same level of explosive knockouts in recent fights compared to earlier in his career. Perry wasn't questioning Tank's power. He was pointing out how high expectations have become. Fans now look to Davis for spectacular endings every time he steps into the ring, and that reputation adds pressure, especially when he's facing a naturally bigger opponent who may be able to absorb more damage.
Tank has a lot of skill, but I don't think he's the same Tank that we saw the most incredible knockouts. We saw him, Lamont Roach performed great. They went to draw, and, I just don't know. And Tank walked away. I don't know if he loves it enough to beat a guy who outweighs him by 80.
Respected boxing strategist Teddy Atlas has also shared his thoughts, praising GervontaDavis' complete skill set. Atlas says Tank is one of the most dangerous fighters in modern boxing because he does everything. Well, his accuracy is sharp, his punches carry purpose, and he can adjust to any style. That level of experience is something Jake Paul simply hasn't gained yet. According to Atlas, excitement about Jake's size advantage will fade once the fight begins. When the skill gap is this wide, technique and experience outweigh physical strength. Tank has faced pressure fighters, long-range boxers, counterpunchers, and explosive sluggers, and he has solved every one of them.
Yeah, he's smaller, but he's a top fighter. He can punch, and he's fighting a guy who's not a top pro fighter, who's bigger. What if he hits him on the chin? What if he hits him on the chin? It'll wind up selling. And that's what'll wind up selling it. The what if. What if Tank makes him do a cha-cha? He hits him on the chin, and Jake Paul, we're going to find out if he can dance. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know, do the cha-cha. That's what's going to sell it. And you can't argue that what if. You can't. I know I get to places that other people won't go and everything else. They just dismiss stuff because it's easier to do that. It's safer to do that. You don't have to bows and arrows coming at you from people that argue with you because you did that. But I don't care. I've had bows and arrows my whole life. I don't care. But that's true. That what if? What if this guy who is a real good puncher, who is one of the best fighters in the world right now, what if he hits him? What if he makes a miss and he counters him? Or he jumps up in the air. Bang! And he hits him. Sid Terrace was a great fighter. No, not the 1700s, but years ago. And Cus D'Amato told me he loves Sid Terrace. He said, Teddy, he used to jump up in the air and hit you with 3 jabs. I said, whoa, man, Sid Terrace. All right. Anyway, look, I can't finish without saying that it did invoke some memories and thoughts that we've been here before in a different way, where Jake Paul's brother fought Mayweather. That's not forget. And I'm not saying I like that either. I mean, first of all, Mayweather was past his prime. He was already retired. He was older, everything, but he's still the great Mayweather. And Mayweather was fighting a guy, what was it, 50-pound difference, 60-pound difference, whatever it was. And that size made a difference. It allowed Jake Paul's brother to be in there and be able to last with a smaller man, a smaller, older, greater fighter who's mostly was concentrating on defense more than just offense. So, yeah. It's kind of like we've seen this already in that version of it. And
former opponent Rolly Romero also praised GervontaDavis, saying Tank has already achieved more than many fighters accomplish in their entire careers. Romero noted that Davis has proven he can hurt bigger men and handle stronger challenges. This is important because it reminds fans that moving up in weight isn't new for Tank. He's already shown he can overcome size disadvantages. Romero believes Davis remains one of the best fighters in the world and is fully capable